Hey everyone, welcome back to On the Fence Movie Reviews, and this is another edition of Real Talk. So here I am Adrian, I am your host, and I am joined by Daniel and Rob. What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Pretty good. I
Doing
think
good.
I want to like see how Danny's just like kind of like he's staring like off to the side. I want to like look kind of just like Danny.
I'm doing good, Adrian. I'm doing good.
Rob, how are you?
Pretty good. You know, had a I'm gonna be a little boastful right now. Had an awesome haunt season over on my channel. So I was going everywhere, doing a lot of stuff, which is
Yeah,
why we
plug your
couldn't.
channel, by the way.
Yeah. Obviously, the Howling Hour. Go ahead and check that out. No, I had. That's why we didn't really get too much done in October and September, is because I was. I'll take the blame for it, Adrian. It's not your
No,
fault.
no, no, no. We
It was
were
my
both
fault.
pretty
Yeah, we were both.
busy.
Yeah, we were both pretty busy.
Rob
But
Rob was doing big things, with his channel, and Adrian was watching Ghostbusters: The Afterlife.
the trailer like 20 times every day.
Yeah, every day he was sending me new promotion videos, and
And I don't watch the Ghostbusters.
I,
What
I,
are
I
you
had
talking
to
about?
I had to block him. I had to block him. So
Yeah, we had to silence him in the group chat. But yeah, I know everything's been good. It's good to be back for another real talk, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
for
actually haven't
sure.
done one in a while.
I know we haven't done one in a while. A lot's happened. A lot of things have gone on. A lot of movies have come out. But yeah. So I mean, I guess we could talk about the Eternals. I mean, we did our review, but Rob, I know you really wanted to talk about it. We could talk about the sort of, how would you say, the discrepancy
Yeah,
between
yeah.
the critic reviews and the audience reviews. And I think last I checked, it was like at 49 on Rotten Tomatoes with the critics, and then like 86, I think,
Yeah, it
with
was
the
86 for the
audiences.
audience.
So I mean, Rob, what are your thoughts on that? Like, why do you think that is?
I, you know what? I'm just baffled at that. I mean, because I feel like the majority of time, even though we really only hear about this when the numbers are so far apart, when it's the audience loves it and the critics hate it, or
Yeah.
the critics love it and the audience hate it. That's the only time we really ever hear about this. For most of the time, I think the scores are usually kind of close, but I
Well,
just go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, well, like with
There he
blockbuster
goes,
films.
cutting you off, Rob. So.
That's all right. Go ahead,
Hey, this
Adrian.
is a conversation. This is
Yeah,
an
it's a
open
yeah,
dialogue.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
Go
just want
ahead.
to say, normally with blockbuster films, there is a huge discrepancy there, but not with Marvel films. I think Marvel
Yeah,
films are usually pretty close, and I think that's kind of what you were saying. But
yeah.
go
Because
ahead.
for like I was saying, the majority of the time, I feel like, and you just kind of said it right there, Adrian. The Marvel movies, usually they're pretty close. I would say within 10 points. Between the two, and I just like I feel like I think that says something to do with Eternals, but also like I just don't know what as much as the audience. I have to kind of point out the critics on this one, because for as much as the audience like it, I just don't understand why the critics don't like it. Because for me, watching this movie, like, and I know what I'm looking for, and I feel like I know what critics are looking for in
Yeah.
what they would like in a movie, and I feel like this
Mhm.
movie kind of touches on a lot of different things that I feel like the critics would like and would want to see promoted, and I just don't understand why they don't like it. Is kind of
Yeah.
more my what kind of just baffles my mind.
Daniel, what do you think?
Well, I actually didn't see the movie, so I really don't.
Ah,
Yeah, I really don't have a say. Or I mean, I do find it.
Loser.
I mean, I guess it further like establishes that the whole thought process is how like the critics and like regular moviegoers, how like there's like out of touch from each other, like what I mean.
disconnect.
Yeah, disconnected, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And that just further From the promotional stuff that I seen, it does look like it kind of checks off the all the things that critics are looking for, like with diversity and all that stuff. Um, and I guess, and according to you, Rob, that's what it seems like it checks off. So
Yeah.
it does seem kind of confusing, um, as to why it's so low and stuff like that. But
Um,
like I said, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really say, you know.
like honestly, for me, I personally I feel like it's just not a strong film, and I think Marvel has, in a sense, built a rapport with the critics to where they kind of expect a certain thing, and because it's not that, um, they didn't seem to like it. And I just think like that's mainly what it is. But also, like I said, it's just not a great film. It's just not very strong. Like the ideas are presented, but they're not fully fleshed out. They're not strong. And I think that's what critics didn't like, was that it was a little bit of a weak storytelling. And also too, I think you have an Oscar winning director, so you almost expect a little bit more. Um,
Okay.
like I know Black Widow came out in the summer, I think, and that one got something like a 79, like high 70s. And to me, Eternals is a much stronger film than Black Widow. I think Black Widow is I did not care for that one at all. Um, but I think Eternals is a lot stronger than that film. But so that's kind of interesting. But again, now why the audiences like it, I just think like audiences in general just are kind of used to Marvel films, and when it's Marvel, they're just gonna go and they're just looking to have a good time. They don't really care about, well, I think some people care, but I think they don't really care about like the deeper stuff. They just want to see some good action, some good comedy, and that sort of thing, and see how it's going to tie into the overall MCU. Um, so I think that's why audiences were liking it, and I think that's why critics were not, was because it just isn't quite right. But I don't know. I've seen stuff online talking about it and saying how one that I thought was really interesting was this reporter in Variety was literally saying that people were giving it bad reviews because it was a female director. And honestly, I do not think that's true, because if you spend time reading more than a handful of reviews, you'll notice that they just point out some pretty strong, legitimate arguments that they try to make. Is that like there are certain things that I mentioned, and that's what they said. None of it has to do with the director, especially um, like what you mentioned, Rob Daniel. Like it checks all the boxes of diversity, which in sense what most writers kind of come to expect from these mainstream films, is that's what they kind of demand. And so because it checks all those boxes, I don't see why they would hate on it for that simple reason. I think that's just a really bad, sloppy clickbait kind of take. Um, so I don't think that's that. But on the flip side, you also have, I know right now there's an issue on IMDb where people are review bombing it because there's a gay scene in there or whatever. And I think that's just stupid too. Like you got to accept the film for what it is, and if you have a problem with it, that's your own personal hang up, because that's not what makes the film bad. What makes the film bad is like what I mentioned, in my opinion, is the weaker storytelling element of this film. But overall, that's just my thought on the situation.
All right, Adrian. Well, thanks for your thoughts.
Okay, yeah, I know. I don't know
No, no,
why.
no. That was, I mean, it was just to me, I was just, it's one of those things where, like I said, it typically doesn't happen with a Marvel movie. Usually they're closer
Yeah,
together. So it's just kind of something that stood out. Again, I've heard, the same stories, just different, review bombing it, or even, just some people, like holding out review, or some, companies or sites holding reviews and not, waiting to release them, and just different stuff like
yeah.
that. But it's just, to me, I just thought it was interesting that they were, this movie specifically, it was, so the critics and the audience were, kind of on opposite sides of the fence, if you will, unintended.
They were on the fence, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I think too. I think the critics, again, seeing the way the last phase ended with the Infinity Saga, it's going to be interesting to see how the critics will proceed with the MCU, if they'll be on board with what they're going to try to do. Because from what it seems like, they're going to try to do more like otherworldly things in space, like with Guardians, with the Marvels, with the Eternals, and seeing what they're going to do with that, because that seems to be more of their focus, especially because right now, like their Earth heroes are kind of in flux if you think about it. I mean,
Right.
Chadwick Boseman unfortunately passed away, so they don't really have a Black Panther. Spider-Man, who belongs to Sony, which looks like they're going to probably take him back, and he's not going to be in the MCU after this last film. um and then Captain America retires, Iron Man's gone, so a lot of your Earth heroes are pretty much not there, other than Doctor Strange and I think Wanda, and that's about it. So it's interesting to see what they do with these characters, and how they kind of do the whole Earth's mightiest heroes, whatever. And I think that this next phase they're going to focus on the space stuff as they kind of like regroup and replan like how they're going to go forward with all the Earth stuff. But I'm interested to see what the how the critics receive the space stuff and all this, that isn't Iron Man, Captain America, whatever, all the famous characters, like what they how they receive it. Will they be on board or will they not? So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Daniel, any other thoughts?
Well, like I said, I haven't really seen the movie, so I can't really.
Yeah, so you
Get
can't
too
really
much-
say anything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure not seeing a movie has never stopped anyone from giving their opinion about it.
Well, again, that's what's happening on IMDb, is that
Yeah.
there's been
View
people
bombing.
that have been verified to have not seen the film, but they're just review bombing it because they don't care for the gay character and the gay scenes, and it's like that's just a stupid reason to be review bombing.
You know what?
anything.
I will say this, and I probably should have mentioned. Well, no, I probably should have mentioned it in our Eternals review. I didn't care. I was not about the kid, the two guys, the guys kissing or whatever. I didn't expect there was a love scene in the movie as well.
Oh, okay.
I was not expecting that. That was
That kind of
they
came out
don't-
of left field.
yeah,
I mean,
they
that was like,
don't show like anything, R-rated, but it gets pretty heavy. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh hey, this is a different type of Marvel movie here.
Yeah.
yeah, that was kind of interesting. I was like, okay, they're doing that now, I guess. All right,
But-
whatever. Like, it's not like I care about that, but it's just
Yeah.
kind of, it was just seemed like strange because here we've had like, 12, 13 years now of MCU stuff, and this is literally the first one.
Yeah.
And they're not known for doing that kind of stuff, and so it was just kind of, and honestly the film didn't really need it. Like I mean, I like, you got that the two characters had a relationship and
Yeah.
a deeper relationship. I mean, you didn't really need that, but it was just kind of, oh, okay, that's what they're doing. All right.
Yeah. I
But
was like,
yeah,
all right,
all
more
right.
popcorn, more popcorn.
Yeah. I didn't have any popcorn by that point. I literally finished my popcorn before the movie started.
Because you always buy the little popcorn. That's why.
Yeah, I do. But
Child-sized popcorn.
But you know what? That's the
he
amount.
always
That's
gets
like
the
the
kids, man.
perfect. Dude, the tubs are so huge, and I'm like, I'm not gonna eat all of that.
You
I'm like,
should have come found me, and I had a huge tub of pop. Side
Yeah.
note, sorry, I don't. Side note, it was my birthday, and I was not expecting. I went in the theater. I was like,
oh,
"Can I
you
get
got
a-"
the birthday tub.
I got the birthday tub, and I got the free popcorn and the free drink, and I was just like, "Hey, can I get my?" And I forgot all about it, and they were like, "Oh, it's $5." I'm like, that doesn't sound right. They're like, "Oh, did you have rewards or a birthday?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." So nice surprise. Thanks, AMC.
Well, that's when see, Adrian, if you wouldn't have ignored him, act like you didn't know Rob in the movies, you would have had some
Okay,
popcorn.
first
Got
off,
some
I
popcorn.
texted him. I was gonna go talk to him, but then the previews had started, so I was like, all right, I'll talk to you after. And like I said, Rob had just moved on to bigger and better things, and I hadn't talked to him in like so long, I forgot what he looked like. And it was late. I was kind of like,
Yeah, Adrian
barely
looked,
awake.
Adrian looked tired, so I was just like, all right, we'll talk tomorrow.
I was. Yeah, no. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on, but we want to talk more about like, I guess, recent events. So we talked about Eternals, but interesting. okay, so there's the tragic events of the production of Rust. Alec Baldwin fired the live gun that ended up killing the cinematographer, and there's some fallout now that's kind of coming in with different producers and stuff. And one of the biggest, most notable ones is Dwayne the Rock Johnson, who has pretty much vowed and sworn off any live guns. He said we're going to switch to rubber guns and we're going to do everything in post, and I don't care the cost. I'm paraphrasing what he said here, but that's pretty much what he said. And they're just not gonna. It's not gonna be an issue going forward. So anything that's tied to his production company, $7, will be doing that in their productions. So I want to talk to you guys about that, like in your thoughts about using live guns versus fake guns, and we've all seen them, and I have some thoughts on it, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it, like how you feel about that. Do you feel like it'll affect the overall production and the quality of the film? Do you feel like it'll be distracting? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Um, I'm a little confused about that. So I mean, um, like they're just gonna add the gunshots,
Yeah,
like the
Kino, kind of
muzzles.
like you remember you remember that video that we made like way back when with our cousins where you were doing like fake
Oh yeah, yeah,
gunshots and
yeah,
like fake
yeah.
blood. Pretty much that. Like they're gonna just have like fake guns
Oh, dude,
and
then where do
do
I sign
everything
up,
in
dude?
post.
I
Like
could do that then. Sign me up, dude.
um yeah, so that's what my thought is do you guys think that drastic of a change is necessary, or does it matter? And do you feel like it'll affect the quality of the film and the viewing experience?
Um, it doesn't matter to me as long as it looks real. I mean, like if it looks fake, then it will take me out of the movie and be like, oh, that's fake.
Yeah,
Um, it's not like we haven't seen that before. Like I've seen movies where you could tell like that it's like fake muzzle flashes and like stuff like that. And
yeah,
like it's not, yeah, they add all that stuff, but I mean like if it looks good, then I'm okay with it. I mean, I yeah, I just as long as it, it just comes out good. It doesn't look fake,
yeah. Rob, what are your thoughts?
Okay, just about that or about the whole situation?
All of it. I mean, yeah, we can give your thoughts on the situation. You can give your thoughts on
Okay.
whether or not you feel like it'll affect anything or what.
Oh, okay. So I, obviously, thoughts and prayers out to the family that, that's a loss of life. That sucks. That's
Yeah,
not okay. Especially when, at least from the stuff I've read, I don't know how true it is because, I'm reading it online and I don't know, who knows 100% of what happened, but,
yeah,
um, the things that I've read, again, I don't know how true this is. I'm just going off of stuff that I tried to dig into this a little when I found out what happened. And the early reports were saying something like, that there just wasn't there wasn't proper safety precautions
yeah,
that were taken. So that right there, I just want to talk about that for a second. That's never okay, whether you're trying to cut costs. Safety is not something you want to, especially when you're dealing with firearms. And now I know, they're supposed to be using blanks, but yeah, we know even blanks can kill people. Um as a gun owner myself, like it makes me furious just to be like, it's one of the rules that you're taught from the very beginning is you
yeah.
never aim
Right.
a gun at someone, and you always make sure the chamber is empty.
Empty.
um so that right there, I feel like there's a
Yeah,
lot of fault to be put on people in charge on the set there. So that's one huge issue right there that just that needs to be taken care of first and foremost. And as far as the rocks company replacing
yeah,
real guns with rubber guns, I'm okay with it. Like Danny was saying, that's an effects thing. That's obviously it's gonna, sound effects and visual effects are gonna play a huge part in, if that's where the road he's gonna go down. That plays a huge part. And as long as those look good, and it doesn't take me out of the movie or out of the scene, I'm okay with it. I don't
Yeah.
care if you're using a fake gun or a real gun or a plastic pellet gun. If it looks real and the effects look good and the sounds good, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sucked into the movie. So
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting to hear you talk about that because from what I'm hearing too, it's going to be an interesting case because they're
Yeah.
they're doing a deep dive investigation, seeing about negligence, and from what I've even heard is there's a possible sabotage going on with that, so that, like, that's even more crazy. But like what
Yeah.
you said, like, as as someone who's handled guns before and all that, yeah, like what you said, you're taught to, yeah, you never aim, always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to like shoot, like all the other basic stuff,
Right.
right? um and like if the safety protocols have not been followed and everything, and I don't know what they are, what like how the film industry handles firearms and weapons. And I think it's most important that they, whatever it is, something needs to change because obviously it cost a life and
Yes.
it's happened before. And so that I think is most paramount, is fixing the situation with that.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's the thing that sucks the most is the whole knowing that like it could have been avoidable.
Yeah.
You
Sorry,
know,
guys.
there's certain things that are unavoidable, but this is a type of situation where it was easily avoidable,
Yes.
and because of the negligence, it cost a life, and so it it sucks, and it's gonna be interesting how it plays out, like as far as like like the whole case and everything. I know a lot of people are on the internet, which kind of sucks. Is they're having a field day with Alec Baldwin because he's known to be like a uh I guess I didn't know this, but apparently he's like a very like anti-gun or something like that.
Yeah, like if you heard his press conference, he was kind of trying to deflect a lot of like the blame because he was like, well, he's like, yeah, we had this one instance, but like how many more guns are in America, like all this other stuff, right? But
Oh, did he? I didn't see that. Yeah.
yeah, it was his first open like press conference since the incident. And I mean, yeah, that's true, but that we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the incidents on set. And but again, yeah, but I think to your point, like, yeah, because of everything that was going on with him. But yeah.
Well, let's just see. That kudos, for The Rock for at least, um, you know, doing something to try and make things safer for on his set. But we'll see what happens with uh if there's a change in Hollywood overall, or
Yeah.
who knows what's going to happen with this case specifically. But hopefully there is something along the lines to be like, okay, well, there needs to be more safety protocols. There needs to be, as far as like before. And I know there's like a gun person there on set who's supposed to examine the gun, and then someone else is supposed to examine it before it's given to the actor. Where did someone is someone negligent in that area, or just
Yeah.
what, like you were saying, Adrian, could there possibly been some foul play? Who
Yeah.
knows? But just it's tough, man. It's the
Well,
life that was
yeah, and
lost that
I
sucks,
think,
and it's just tough. It's the whole situation.
yeah, yeah, how they
Yeah,
deal with it
and
again, because Hollywood is very union driven, so they might change some of their rules within their union. So who knows? Like, but yeah, I think something needs to kind of happen to kind
Yeah.
of
just
prevent stuff
don't.
like that from
Yeah,
happening.
man. Just don't cut corners. I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, basically, it comes down to don't cut corners. It may cost a little bit more money. Because like they're trying to rush things. Because the time does cost. Um,
Yeah.
but in this situation, it cost a life. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, I didn't mention that, but like, as far as the Rock, but yeah, kudos to him to at least doing like the first step in.
Yeah, and kind of like what you guys said, for me, I think it's a good move. And as long as they're able to get it to where it looks real, then no problem. Because I was watching a movie the other day, and I was like, it was so obvious that everything was fake, and it kind of took me out of the scene because of like the fake, like everything, even the blood, everything that was happening in the scene, the fake gunshots, the fake, all of it. So it kind of took me out of it, where it was like, oh my god, this is really bad.
Yeah.
Were you watching the video that you guys made as kids again, Adrian?
Well, you know what? Sad to say, because it kind of looked almost like that. So,
Well, I mean,
and
like, they don't even have. I mean, like I said, kudos to The Rock that he's doing, doing that change. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, they don't have to if they just follow protocol and then
Yeah.
yeah,
don't try to rush things, and then none of this would have happened, and then you won't. And if you do that, you won't run into situations like this. So I mean, that's another option that's easily
Yeah.
that they could take.
Don't cut. Yeah, like you said, don't cut corners.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I mean, that's the best way to put it. Who knows what the solution is, but I think that's the best one is don't cut corners. And yeah, they got to be very, very strict on their safety protocols. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know, you guys have any other thoughts or topics do you want to cover?
What are you drinking? What's in your cup right now?
Just water. Just water. A little bit of a sore throat, so just water.
Oh, okay.
It should be tea with lemon if it's a sore throat. Tea with lemon.
It should be, but it's all I had in the moment.
I
So
don't think cold water helps, right?
Yeah, cold water.
Well,
Cold water.
It's not.
really
It's not
doesn't help.
cold. It's room temperature. So
Oh,
like
okay.
I know that much at least, not to get like ice water or anything like that. So I just have it at room temperature.
Well, good for you, Adrian, for knowing that at least.
Well, anyways, yeah. Real quick, I know that like the year is almost over, and there's quite a few films that we kind of watched but didn't get a chance to review. But just in a brief summarization, Rob, are there any films that you've watched this year that you really like that we haven't talked about?
Oh, I kind of liked Halloween Kills. I thought it was okay.
Okay.
I have some issues with it, but overall, I feel like it was Michael Myers at his brutalist. I enjoyed it, but then there are little things that I was just like, I don't know. But I'd say get off the fence when it came
Okay,
to
so
Halloween Kills. Go ahead.
okay,
What's your question?
cool. No, I have a quick question about that because one of the reviewer that I followed, he said the issue he had was that there was almost too much Michael Myers. Like part of what makes him scary is like not seeing him all the time and then him appearing.
Definitely, there was a lot more. Like it's a complete different than the I think it's 78 version of Halloween where
Yeah,
he's the shape. This is Michael Myers hunting people.
the hunter.
Yeah, this is Michael
Wow.
Myers the hunter.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Daniel,
Well, I
any
mean,
movies that you watched that you really kind of want to like give a shout out to or mention anytime this year or recently that we haven't covered?
oh, that we haven't covered. Yeah, No Time to Die. I really like that one. It was a fun time at the movie. I would say it's probably Daniel Craig's second best movie. Second best
And
Bond movie. Just
okay,
behind what is it?
Skyfall.
No,
Casino Royale.
Casino Royale.
Casino
Yeah,
Royale. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's his best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like my favorite. Like,
Everyone typically goes with Skyfall first, though. Like everyone I talk to goes with Skyfall first.
Really? That's
Yeah.
funny because a lot of, I think maybe because I follow a lot of critics and I have no friends. So a lot of critics say Casino Royale. And I
Yeah.
personally agree with them because I just think that that one has like a really raw grittiness to it that makes Daniel Craig's Bond a little bit more unique and sets it
Yeah.
apart from the previous ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't seen No Time to Die, and I
Neither
really wanted
have
to watch
I.
it. So
Yeah,
So
I really think you guys should watch it. I don't know if it's still in the theaters, but I mean
it,
it
it
probably
still
is, but
is. It still is, but it'll probably be in like
a
how like
small
when
theater.
movies are on their way out. So like
Yeah.
Yeah.
they put it like in the tiny theater where it only has like
Yeah.
2 rows and that's it. So that might ruin
Yeah.
some of the
The
experience.
I was a little let down with the villain. What's his
Remy
guy's name?
Malik,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This
Freddie
one pretty
Mercury.
much, yeah. This one pretty much focuses more on Bond than anything. The
Okay.
villain, I mean, he's a great actor. I keep forgetting his Malik. Was it Malik? Uh, the actor. What's his name? Malik. What's his name?
Which one? You mean Rami
Uh,
Malik?
Rami. Oh, yeah.
And Malik, I was like,
I
who's
don't know
it?
why I said with Malik. Rami
Yeah,
Malik.
Rami
I was
Anyways,
Malik.
like, I was like, okay.
yeah, yeah. I was like, help me out, guys. But
Who's it? Malik Yorba from NYPD Undercover.
You're dating
um,
yourself now, Adrian. You're dating
I
yourself.
am. I'm old.
um, yeah. So he was great in the movie, like as far as acting wise, but like as far as what he was given,
he,
it
he
wasn't.
wasn't he wasn't given a lot.
Yeah, yeah. But overall, good movie. Anyways, I know we're running out of time, Adrian.
Um, Real quick, it was a film that was supposed to come out last year during the pandemic, and it
Ghostbusters hasn't
was
come out yet. They don't count. So.
no. But by the same studio, it was Sony Animation Pictures. It was originally called Connected. Then
Oh, okay.
basically with the pandemic, they
Yeah.
basically just sold it to Netflix, so it went to Netflix earlier in the year, I think early summer is and then they changed the name to The Mitchells versus the Machines. And
Yes.
I
That's a good one.
really really loved that film. I thought that was one of the best animated films I've seen in a couple of years, and it's got that a lot of heart, the family
Yeah.
dynamic, really funny, and it's all tied into like that sci-fi robot
Yeah.
apocalypse, and it's all animated, and the animation's really really great too,
Yeah. It's a good family movie.
Yeah.
and it's a great family movie,
Yeah.
which I can watch it with my kids, and we have a great time every time we watch it, and it's such a good film, and I can't recommend it enough. So get off the fence, go to Netflix, and watch The Mitchells versus the Machines.
As opposed to you making your kids watch Citizen Kane for the 1,000th time.
Yeah.
Actually,
we have 1 minute left.
all right. Well, fellas,
Yeah,
it's
we
been
don't
real.
pay for the Zoom Pro, whatever you call
We're
it. So
cheap.
we're on a
Well,
timeline.
we need to start the Patreon so we can afford to pay for it. Well, anyways, guys, thanks for watching Real Talk. Why don't you comment down below and let us know any of your thoughts on anything that we covered, and we'll get that conversation rolling. Also, don't forget to click like, subscribe, and share with all of your friends, and follow us on Instagram at On the Fence Movie Reviews.
And remember, we'll catch you on the fence.